Hi, I'm Robert Esser, and this is livingpianos.com, your online piano store with a sensational 7-foot Baldwin model SF-10. What's the SF-10? The SF-10 was actually the second piano that Baldwin came out with after the SD-10 in the late 1960s, which took the entire piano world by storm because of the high-quality manufacturing and design of this new series of pianos that Baldwin came out with. In 1975, when this piano was built, Baldwin was the #1 selling piano in America, and there was a good reason for that. They were making absolutely sensational pianos. Interestingly, my personal piano is an SF-10 Baldwin from the same period as this one, and I could own any piano. Before I had my SF-10, I had an SD-10 from also the same era. But when I moved away from my live-work loft, which had the 20-foot ceilings, I went down to a smaller piano. And I'll tell you what my piano was before that one. But first, let's start with some music. I'm going to play for you the first two movements of Bach's Toccata in E minor. Notice how it's possible to bring out all the counterpoint. All the lines are right under your control with this absolutely stupendous Renner action, the standard in high-quality pianos in the world today. And at that time as well, the Renner German parts are immaculately regulated on this piano because there's so little wear. It's a pleasure. This piano is all original. We did refinish the case. It's a beautiful satin, the ebony satin with a lustrous shine, but not the high gloss like you get out of the polyester finishes in Asian pianos. So I was going to talk to you about what my personal piano was. First, now I have an SF-10 from the 70s. Before that, I had an SD-10 9-foot from the 70s. What piano did I have before that? I had a Mason & Hamlin 7-foot piano. Why do I mention this? Because really there are three great 7-foot pianos of all time: Mason & Hamlin BB, the double B, the Baldwin SF-10, and Steinway Model B. Now, it's harder to find really great Bs, Steinway Bs, and Mason Hamlin double Bs unless you go back much further or much more recent, because the 70s, 80s, 90s, for both Mason and Hamlin and Steinway, were not their most spectacular eras of production, which isn't to say there aren't some great pianos from those decades. There certainly are. But Baldwin, it was kind of hard to be able to find a bad one or even a lesser one. There were so many great pianos. So let's move on with some other music. I'm going to play for you something lyrical so you can hear the singing quality and the warmth of the tone in an excerpt of the second movement of Beethoven's Opus 10, Number 3 Sonata, one of my favorites, by the way. The action weight is absolutely spot on where you want it to be, not too heavy, yet responsive with fantastic repetition. I don't know if you notice the sustain and the warmth of the tone. Let's hear the other side, though. What happens when you really put some energy into this piano? I'm going to go ahead and play just a little chunk of a section of Chopin's Ballade in G minor that shows coming all over the piano and has some fortissimo, so you can get an idea of how it handles that other end of the sonic spectrum for you. At 7 feet long, this piano is an ideal instrument for your home, and yet can also be a beautiful instrument for a smaller performance venue. And incidentally, Baldwin SF-10s and SD-10s record just absolutely splendidly, because while it has that classic, fat, warm American sound, you're going to get a little bit more clarity and focus than you will out of Steinway and Mason and Hamlin. Not to the extent you get out of Bechstein and Busendorfer, which are more crystalline and more of that bell-like tone. You still have the warmth of the American sound, but more clarity. It's kind of that balanced sound. I'm interested in your opinion of what you've heard today and Baldwins in general. If you haven't played some great Baldwins, you're in for a real treat with a piano like this one. Again, I'm Robert Estrin here at livingpianos.com, your online piano store.